are here at the EIT Raw Materials Summit in Brussels, and I have Riina Salmimies, our CEO, next to me, and just wanted to have a chat with Riina about your feelings about the summit this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really interesting summit. Last year was our first, and I have to say I did not get as much out of the first summit than we've had over the past 2 days. Yesterday, a really exciting meeting with one of the very big players in mining tech, and some discussions about applications that we could pursue together. Obviously, the pitch yesterday in the afternoon in the session for circular economy and 9 other startups. We did great. We've had some really good feedback from investors.
What do you think is going to be the next markets for Sofi Filtration?
That's a very good question. So we're currently working mainly on gold when it comes to recovery. And if you look at gold, Europe is not that big. I mean, we do have some operations in the Nordic countries. There's major gold mining industry in Turkey, which is a really interesting market, being fairly close to home. But I think it's, we need to cross oceans in order to open up those new markets. And Australia being very attractive, Canada obviously being very attractive, South America.
Do you think there is an urgency for this new tech and recovering minerals? And do you get that from the discussions?
Yeah, I think there is a sense of urgency that was not there before. Is it still enough? Not sure of that. There's a lot of talk, but not necessarily as much action as I would like to see. There's still a lack of funding, that gap. And it's very painful for startups, particularly that do capital-heavy technologies, so not just digital technologies or AI, but something tangible in this world. And there is a gap, and I think EIT Raw Materials is trying to fill that gap to a certain extent, but we also need other types of mechanisms in there.
One of the highlights, I think, has been the big Finnish team here. So we've been talking a lot together and boosting each other's message, and I think that's what we need to do to get the message out.
Yeah, it's very impressive how big of a mining tech country Finland actually is, and we sometimes overlook that. So we go into the developing of the assets, the deposits, and how we can create new mines and all that stuff. Finland is a big mining country in the European scale, but still a small mining country in a global scale. But we are a major mining tech country on a global scale. And we've been very active in social media over the past 2 days, also posting from the summit. And I think that's really important that, the startups, but also maybe the bigger companies, the investors, those policymakers, that they be active on social media. We can't be silent as an industry. We need to make noise, let people know we're out here and, we're trying our best to make the world a better place and make mining more responsible. So we really do need to get the word out as well.
And the rest of the stakeholders. So I think there is institutes here, there is research, there's even some of the big companies here from Finland. Yeah. What I'm lacking is maybe the financing. Yeah,
no, this is definitely true. And I think we all acknowledge the fact that Europe needs more capital to employ, in startups, in developing assets, in a bunch of these things. There's a race on, obviously, between countries and, regions as well, on how quick we can actually develop, independent supply, all of us being somewhat vulnerable because of geopolitics associated with supply chains. So that's definitely something that we are lacking. But we've been very lucky meeting a bunch of investors, some investment bankers as well. So it's a good summit.